Fantastic. Yay. All right. Well, welcome everybody. This is Vicky with Alive Fit and Free, and we have Michael Goldberg, Hugs for Mito, and the ambassador for Hugs for Mito, Corey Halsey. Did I say your name right, Corey?
You
Halsey?
did, yes.
Perfect. I'm so
Hey,
excited to have Halsey. Perfect. Okay, I'm so excited to have you guys with us today. So, without much ado, we are going to talk about mitochondrial disease. And these two lovely gentlemen are going to share their story with us about how they discovered having mitochondrial disease and what their life looked like previously and what it's like now. And just to fill us in on living with a rare disease, okay? Hang on, guys. I just want to check Facebook. There we go. All right, we're all good. Make sure I'm on here. We are live. Okay. Fantastic. All right. So, introductions. Michael, why don't you go ahead and tell us a little bit about you? And yeah, let's take it away.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us, Vicky.
Oh, my
Appreciate it.
pleasure.
And thank you for having my buddy Corey here all the way across the pond from the UK with us as well. I am Michael Goldberg, and I am the founder, along with my wife Judy, of Hugs for Mito. And my story is a complicated one, Vicky, as you know. We met quite a while ago through a networking group that we both belonged to. And you've seen me at my best, which I'm doing pretty well now, and you've seen me at my worst.
Hmm.
So you can, I guess, attest to both.
Absolutely, I
Um, I
can.
have I have mitochondrial disease, a rare disease, as does Corey, and I think Corey can tell you as well that each person with mitochondrial disease um, is different, which makes it such a difficult
absolutely
diagnosis. Correct, Corey? Is that fair to say? And
correct. I'd say everyone's different.
Everyone's different. Can you briefly tell us what is mitochondrial disease?
mitochondrial disease is a disease of the cells, your mitochondria, which is powerhouse of the cells. And, you know, your cells comprise all of you. So anything from head to toe can be affected. So that includes your brain, your eyesight. Um, I guess I'll stop there for a second. My eyesight has been affected. Corey's eyesight has been affected. It can affect heart. It can affect muscles. It can affect things like your diabetes. I'm a diabetic. Um, Kidneys, liver. I mean, you get the idea.
So
And
that's like any part of the body because our body is made up of thousands of
exactly any part of the
cells.
body. So,
Okay.
things that might be affected in me could be different in Corey. We could have many like symptoms. And it's a terrible, terrible disease. And it's predominantly, which we've discussed before, a children's and babies disease, but there is adult onset. Teens suffer from it. Adults like myself suffer from it. And, Corey will tell you that a lot of people are dying from it, children and babies as well. So, it really needs more attention. There is research being done. And, I don't want to do all the talking. I want to let Corey do some, as well. But it's debilitating, and, more so for some than others.
Right. So Corey, how long have you had mitochondrial disease?
I have had mitochondrial disease my whole life. It's a very rare mitochondrial disease. It took them 14 years to find out that I had it. Um, but it is, as Michael said, it is a very debilitating disease, and there are thousands of people dying. There are thousands of people with it. Yes, doing research.
I think Corey
Corey
froze a little bit.
Priest.
Yeah. Um, oh, there he is. He's back. Okay.
And Corey, tell the listening audience, how old are you, Corey?
I am 25 years old.
Okay, so you were diagnosed basically as 14 or 15, huh? No, you were
I
diagnosed, but you had it your whole life.
I got Yeah, I've had it my whole life. But they didn't realize that until I was about 14 years old.
Wow.
And it got diagnosed by a very clever professor in Oxford in the United Kingdom.
Okay. And how did Mito predominantly affect you, Corey? I know like Michael said, everybody's different.
Yeah, everyone's slightly different. I definitely agree with that. So I'm in a wheelchair. I'm blind. I can't walk. And I have got a lot of different issues. You probably can see my eyes bouncing about quite a lot. That's to do with nerves of the mitochondrial working. I also have issues with my heart's muscles, cells, and as mitochondrial does, when you lose cells, you don't automatically renew themselves. Themselves just die off and you don't renew them again.
That's an
And
excellent point, Corey.
So what happens then if the cells are not replenishing? Because if we do not have mito disease, we are constantly replenishing and growing new cells every day. So does that cause like a withering effect?
Michael, do you want to or shall I?
Go ahead, Corey. You're doing fantastic. Why don't you can field it. Go ahead.
So basically, you lose a lot of. So say you've got quite a big built structure, like I have because I'm healthy at the moment. You eventually start to degrade in your body. So you will degrade in things like how your look of your legs is, say. You will lose your muscle in your legs. So eventually it's like you're losing more cells each time. So then basically you end up with no cells because the mitochondria ends up eating themselves up.
Oh wow. Okay. And so there's nothing really that you can do to stop that or reverse that, or if there was, you could get rid of mitochondrial disease,
Yeah,
correct?
and it can vary individual to individual. I mean, I don't know. I mean, am I proof of that? Because I mean, I've been able to bring myself back a little bit through exercise and whatnot. But at the same time, I struggle. It's I guess what I'm trying to bring out is it's different for each person. Each case
Yeah.
it's different.
Right. Michael, can you tell us a little bit about your experience in discovering that you had Mito?
My experience was through, I see a doctor locally here in Boston. She's amazing, Dr. Amel Kara, and that's whose, research we support. She's a geneticist and brilliant woman. And at the time I went to see her, the gold standard was a muscle biopsy, which I had done. And what they look for on the muscle biopsy is jagged red fibers. And they saw something in mine, but it wasn't conclusive enough. And they decided they wanted to do blood work, full genome sequencing, where they take a look at the genes. And that is now more of a gold standard, as far as I know. There might be more technology, but at the time they were testing me, that's what they decided they wanted to do. I'm not sure. I'm curious what they did with Corey, but I guess we'll ask him in a minute. So with me, the doctor said to me, she put it in, I thought, wonderful layman's terms. She said, we'll send it away. Takes 9 months to get back, and then I'll call you in the office. Okay, that's how long it takes. And she said, we all have, say, 20,000 genes in us. And I said, okay. She said, all we really know about in today's world is 5,000 of those, even with all of today's technology. I said, all right. She said, when your blood work comes back, you want to fall into that 5,000 that we know about. I said, no way. I said, if it wasn't I'm a Goldberg, it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have any luck at all. So I'm going to fall into the 15,000 that we don't know about. So Judy and I get called into the office, and she says, I have good news and I have bad news. I said, well, you already told me that, I have mitochondrial disease because you can tell through, I don't know, the DNA and whatever else. I said, what more can you possibly tell me that's bad news? She said, you fell into the 5,000. She said, that's the good news. I said, well, okay, what's the bad news? She said, you have a gene in you. It's called DNM2, Dynamin 2. I said, okay. I said, that means absolutely nothing to me. She said, well, that's kind of the bad news. There's no real research being done on it, so we don't know much. And I said, okay. She said, so there's no real trials that you're eligible for. And, I said, okay. I said, so what do I do? She said, well, people take what's called, I think, I explained this to you before, Vicki, but, people out there don't know, a Mito cocktail. You manage symptoms, as they come and go. And what the Mito cocktail is it's a broken compound of vitamins and some other things. They call this kind of, an energy disease because it affects your mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. And it's supposed to give you exactly that, a burst of energy, and help your cells. So she said, try it for a year and a half. For me personally, it didn't do anything. And it's very, very expensive if insurance doesn't cover it. A lot of people can't afford to even try it. I'm very fortunate. My wife works a decent job and we were able to do it, but I didn't get any benefit from it. So I came off it after a year and a half. Some people do find a benefit from it. That's kind of my story. And now, it's just basically managing symptoms as they come on. If I'm experiencing something, I'm not sure how Corey's road to diagnosis could have been completely different. And he might have had a completely different path than what I had. I'm curious actually, because I don't know, because I know other people's road and journey are completely different than mine was.
Yeah, Corey, what was your road to diagnosis? And then I want to ask you both, be thinking about this question. What were the symptoms that you each had that made you know, hey, there's something that's not right. I just don't feel good. And how long did you have those symptoms? I think that's really important. Okay, so go ahead, Corey. What was your path to diagnosis? And then we'll go into that next question.
Okay, so I was, when I was about 3 years old, my mum picked up that I started walking into things, which a normal 3-year-old would do, but not as much as I was. And I was walking into wall stores, you name it, I was walking into it, which is actually quite hilarious. And Mum took me to get checked up on by a pediatrician. And this particular pediatrician, Dr. Bahala, she believed my mum because my mum felt that there was something in her gut telling her that something wasn't right with me. And from that point onwards, I then got referred to a lady called Professor Joanne Poulton, who's a geneticist and does a lot with mitochondrial disease in Oxford. And I had lots and lots of different tests. I had a test on my leg that was muscle, skin, and bone biopsy. And I also think I had the one Michael had, but I'm not sure if it was the same test or not without actually talking to you, Michael, yourself about it. But to get up to where we are now, it's been a long road of work and operations and drugs and all medical trials and all different things to try and figure out what was wrong with me. And it turns out that from a certain test that my professor did, where you put cells in a special machine that she had brought over from America, this machine basically turns the cells on or off. And she did that with my cells, and that's when she worked out I had mitochondrial disease. And it wasn't just mitochondrial disease, unfortunately. It was a very, very rare type of mitochondrial disease. I don't know if you want me to go into that now or later.
Tell us a little bit. Didn't you tell me you were the only person in the world that had this particular type?
That's what I was just going to say, but I didn't know if you wanted it now or later.
Yeah,
so we did say that again, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead. We'd love to hear.
So we did all these hundreds and thousands of tests, and it turned out that I have a gene called an OPA1 gene, and that's a very, very rare gene to have. And it turned out that I was the only one, and still am the only one in the world with this type of mitochondria. And that's what's very unique about me. And to this day, there is only 3 people with the OPA1 gene, and it's very, very rare.
Interesting. So, if you have the OPA gene, does that necessarily lead to Mito, or it's just that Mito can happen in people with that gene? I'm just trying to understand about the genes.
So they basically have only found the OPA1 gene in people with mitochondrial. They haven't found it in anyone else.
Okay.
So I'm guessing only in people with mitochondrial.
Okay. And Michael, would it be the same thing with the DMN?
DNM2, honestly don't know, Vicky.
Okay. I'm just wondering if that's kind of like a precursor, or it's just people that have those specific genes maybe are uh, um, I'm looking for a word. I can't find it.
I
Maybe,
know what you're trying to say.
yeah,
Predisposed.
predisposed. There
Yeah,
you go.
honestly,
That's
I
it.
honestly
Yeah, thank
don't. I
you.
honestly don't know.
Okay, interesting. Okay, Michael, what kind of symptoms did you have to make you start going, something's not right here? Um,
I was actually doing martial arts at the time, Krav Maga. I'm a black belt, and I remember telling them at the time I was working out very hard. So you're not sure if you're actually maybe overtraining. And I remember my legs kind of being very heavy. And usually, when you're training hard, usually making gains, not going or taking steps backwards. Kind of felt like I was taking steps backwards, not really making any gains. Going through my black belt, what they call boot camp at the time, getting ready for the black belt process. And I said, I just don't feel right. Didn't feel right kind of going through a lot of it, even though I was performing at a pretty high level that most people don't really perform at. But you know your own body and you just know something's kind of going on. And I got through the process. I got my black belt, but shortly thereafter, I was in a work situation and I was doing some security work at the time. Was in a mall situation. I just was looking down corridor, things being very bright, and it was in my vision where I was first affected. I kind of was looking at a distance. My eyesight was always perfect. I could see a country mile and close one eye, close the other. I was looking at people and just wasn't right. And I found the vision in my left eye. When I closed it, I couldn't see. It was pretty much nothing. It was blank at the time. And I remember feeling very warm. It was a hot day. And I mean, I was really off.
yeah.
And I'd told my bosses there at the time, I said, you know, kind of watch me. I don't feel right. And this particular job, you know, it's you stayed if they didn't have coverage because the coverage wasn't there. And I really kind of wanted to go home. I wasn't feeling right. I was pretty messed up that day. And I stayed throughout the day feeling less than myself with no vision in my left eye. And from there, I just gradually got worse. I started getting, you know, started on one side of me, really. I didn't know if I was having a stroke with muscle weakness, pain. Then it was whole body. And I mean, you remember seeing me. I was
Mm-hmm.
heart issues. I mean, I still have a lot of things to this day. I mean, brain fog, a lot of, I didn't even remember the question you were going to ask. I'm glad you repeated it because, no, seriously, I still have a lot of things going
No,
on.
I
I'm
don't.
very, I know Corey can relate to the
Hey,
brain.
trust me, I can relate too.
No, a lot of people, I mean, I know it comes with age too, but no, I mean, should they say short-term memory and mitochondrial disease? I can remember things I did, you know, back in high school as a kid, but I couldn't tell you what I did a half an hour ago. And it's a big thing with mitochondrial disease
Yeah.
and I find it very fascinating as to how short-term memory.
Interesting. Okay, so just heads up, I met Michael, what, 6 years ago, maybe?
Oh yeah, good six
Think
years
about
ago,
6 years
7 years
ago.
ago, yeah.
And when I met he and his lovely wife Judy, which Judy couldn't be with us today, but
Someone has to work, Vicky.
someone has to work, Michael. Oh, she's gonna get you for that one.
Oh, I'm sure.
But anyhow, Michael was in a wheelchair and he was not really even able to hold his head up. And I was, and we'll go into this other aspect in a minute, but I was totally blown away by the care that Judy gave him. I mean, I was almost in tears. But today, Michael is not in a wheelchair, or no, I'm sorry, a mobility scooter. I realized that Michael corrected me earlier saying it's not a wheelchair, it's a mobility scooter. So sorry for using those words. And I
No,
know
no,
Corey-
don't be
Corey
sorry at
called it
all.
a wheelchair, but now
Doesn't make no sense.
It's a what? A difference? Okay. So Michael had a mobility
Yes,
scooter.
it's a big difference.
Big difference. Okay. Corey has a wheelchair. Michael had a mobility scooter. And Michael, I want you to he's no longer using his mobility scooter. He works out like a fiend and he's mobile on his own now. So, what did you do, Michael? And what made you start doing whatever it was that you did to get to where you are today?
I don't know if I'd say like a fiend, Vicky. That's being very kind. I think age is kind of catching up a little bit.
Hey, it's all relative, Michael.
Yeah,
Trust me.
it's definitely all relative. What did I do? I guess
And
I
why?
refuse. I refuse to give in. That's that's
Did you
just.
have to get to a certain point where you said, this is enough? I'm not going to let this get me?
I did, and I guess before I tell you what I did, I don't want to not give anyone any credit. I've had some wonderful occupational therapists come in, PT come in, um, my martial arts community that are still helping me to this day with diet, exercise, the network that we belonged to. I still keep in touch with some of those wonderful people that have helped me attain this. So I don't want to forget any of those people because I'm hoping they'll watch this incredible interview. And I mean, I'm still in touch with a lot of them, and a lot of them have given me different tips and whatever. So, I mean, it's not all me. I like to give credit where credit is due.
Sure.
But as far as the work that's been put in, that is me. And I got to a point where I just said, you know what, this can't be it. This can't be my fate. And I don't want to. I lose it every time.
Can I say something that you told me?
Can you? Sure.
And I might lose it, okay? And that's okay if we cry, you guys. Um, Michael told me when he first decided that he needed to start exercising. I am gonna lose it. He told me that he made an obstacle course on the kitchen floor with cans and boxes of food, and he literally crawled through that obstacle course. That's how determined he was.
You're killing me, Vicky.
They killed me when he told me that, and it was just like, oh my goodness. I mean, this man literally said, I'm not going to live like this anymore. And he knew that he could affect that. And he literally crawled through this obstacle course on his belly on his floor. That was like, whoa.
I just want people to know that that's true. And I tell them that story. I'm not like kidding when I say that I literally like crawled to get where I am today. I crawled. I mean, a lot of people have asked me because, I put some different things out there in posts, and they say, well, how have you done it? I really want to help myself. That's how I did it. It's gut wrenching. It's brutal.
Yeah.
It wasn't pretty. My doctors told me because, after I had my heart surgery and you have a procedure like that done, plaque can break off, and it can cause all kinds of issues, and it can go to your brain, and it can cause strokes. That happened in me. It happened. I had stroke because of that affected my vision because I was so bad at the time. They didn't know if that caused residual effects, and the rest of my body because I was just so bad. They said, we don't know. And it's, you know what I mean? And my doctor said to me, well, when you were doing your rehab, your exercise, did you fall? It's like, yeah, I fell. I'm not supposed to fall because I can cause it. But yeah, you know what? I couldn't accept where I was at. I just couldn't.
Very good.
No.
So it's worth it for you to do something different,
For
even though
me, it was, you know what I mean? I don't recommend it to other people.
Right.
You know what? Well, do what I did, and fall. You might hurt yourself. I mean, I could have hurt myself. I mean, was it a wise thing to do? I don't know. I mean, it's paid off,
Right.
but was it smart? Maybe not.
Well, and I think you've made this point, both of you, Corey, you as well, that it affects everybody differently. So everybody's going to respond to something different. Corey, suppose that you in particular would respond to the same training mode that Michael incorporated into his life. You wouldn't be able to do that because Mito has affected you differently. So I think everybody's going to have to come to their own conclusion on what they're going to do and how they're going to live, right? What do you
Exactly.
say,
Yeah,
Corey? Yeah.
If what I
So,
I'd
did,
exactly agree with that.
if what I did
And
would help, well,
whoops, go ahead, Corey. Did we lose you?
did we lose him?
No? Corey, you still there? He's muted.
Uh,
All right, Michael, I'm going to let you go ahead and talk.
uh,
So,
I was
from
going to
that,
say, if what I did
there he is.
would help everyone with mitochondrial disease, I'd be telling them to do it tomorrow. But everybody's different. Corey's different, than me, than the next person with mitochondrial disease,
Right,
or even another rare disease. That's we're all different. We're all unique human beings. Even
right.
working out. You know what I mean, Vicky?
Yeah, we all are
I'm
different.
different than you, than the
Yeah,
next person. What
absolutely.
works for one
Does
doesn't work
not
for the
work
other.
for
I mean,
everybody.
how long have you been a trainer? You
Right.
know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all different. So, Corey, tell me about kind of where you're at and how you manage day to day. And Corey, can you tip a little bit over to the right? Just a hair. Um,
there.
there. Little bit more. Take your camera over to the left a little bit. Oh, there you go. Okay. Perfect. You're good. It's all good. Okay, Corey.
Sorry,
No
it's
worries.
because I'm holding my phone.
That's okay. You're just right. You're
So what did what did you ask me again? Sorry, Vicky.
so, how do you manage physically? We're going to talk physically right now, guys, and then we're going to get into the hard stuff. But how do you manage physically where you're at right now? And is there any self care that you do specifically that helps to maintain or actually even improve where you're at?
I'm at the most healthiest part of my journey I've been in so far. I have been in some very, very dark places like Michael has, and it's not nice. And I can say that I have pushed on and on and on, and the sky is the limit, and I have not stopped. I will not let this condition win.
That's why I love you, buddy.
I'm so inspired. So, how do you find? So, this leads into my next question. Sorry, guys.
It's okay.
You know, those of us that live, quote, without, I'm just going to say, without Mito or without a rare disease or without something that's debilitating like that, we might get up in the morning and gripe and complain about something or say, I have a headache or I don't feel like doing it today. I just want to give up. That's just so minor compared to living with what you guys live with. How how do you keep that? How do you keep that mental? How do you cheerlead yourself? How do you keep going, Corey? I mean, that's incredible. You have both overcome such incredible odds. So, how do you do that every day? Get up and go, I'm going to do it today.
I honestly will tell you how I do, and this and this is the first time I have ever told anyone's apart from my own family. I have crystals, and I believe the healing powers of the crystals are what gets me through my condition.
Fantastic.
I believe that they help with me.
So do you have specific crystals, or is it always different? And what do you do with the crystals?
I have a lot of crystals. I've got hundreds. And each crystal has its own healing property, i.e. a red jasper is for pain and neurological problems. And I'm sure Michael can kind of realize that with me, because honestly, you try anything to help. And I'm sure Michael would say the same, because these conditions are awful and I wouldn't wish anybody to have them.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I know crystals are powerful, but I've never had to use them, or I have never used them on quite such an intimate way that you do. So, and do you feel the different energy in the crystals, Corey?
Yeah, I can feel different energies from different crystals. Actually crystal trained as such, so I can kind of push the energy about to different parts of my body,
Wow.
and to try and heal other parts of myself.
I'm formulating another workshop with you, buddy. You need to share your knowledge on crystals with people. I'd love to know how to do that.
Awesome.
I know the wheels are turning. It's like, okay, Corey.
I've got a lot.
He's got an idea.
Go ahead.
If only there was a cure with crystals.
Very cool. So cool. Nice. Okay, so do they help mentally as well, Corey, as energetically? I mean, um, what if you get up in the morning and go, I'm so damn
Yeah,
tired of
they
fighting this thing?
do help.
Yeah.
That would never happen. That would never happen, because I have the fight in my heart and my body to beat this condition,
Fantastic.
Awesome.
and I won't let it win.
Wow. Fantastic. Okay. I'm impressed. I'm so impressed. I'm so inspired.
That's
Dude,
awesome.
you're amazing. Okay, Michael, what do you do when those days come and you don't want to get down on your belly on the floor and crawl through that damn maze again?
There's a lot of them. I mean, I draw strength, and I know Corey does as well, from family and friends. I mean, very important. I think your support cast is the most important thing. But I mean, as far as, I mean, maybe objects, intangible objects, things like that. You know, my downstairs has my black belts. I have an honorary black belt that Master Tiano, who I adore, you know, presented me with when I was extremely ill. He's never presented one to
Wow.
anyone else, so I take extreme pride in that. I have, you know, some, you know, medals down there, some other precious items that, you know, I look at that I draw strength from. So
Yeah.
those are the things that kind of, you know, push me through, that get me, you know, through another day. You know, I have a saying that when I used to, you know, work out, and even still, I'm I'm actually going to get it tattooed. That's how backed up my tattoo artist is. In August, I have to wait to have him do it, and some other work as well. But I won't be denied. I always used to tell myself, I won't be denied. That's Judy's is one day at a time. Mine is I won't be denied. I want to get that tattooed on my wrist, and I just tell myself I won't be denied.
Fantastic. Good. Yay. I love the attitude. I love the attitude that you guys have. It's so inspirational that you do. You pick yourself up and you do what you need to do each day to move on and to live that life that you're grasping a hold of and that you actually are. Here comes Corey. He left for a minute.
Yeah.
We're so glad you're back.
I don't know what happened there.
No worries. You're back.
I love the. I don't know what happened there. I like to tease them too.
I know you do, and I'll get my own back. You know it bloody well.
I know you will. I know you'll get me back.
Fantastic. Okay, there's so much more that I want to talk about, but let's I think a big part of this, and I've had conversations with both of you about the caretakers or the carers role. Bless their hearts because they're actually angels, yeah?
Yes,
Somebody
they are.
that takes that caretaker role. Can we talk a little bit about that?
We have to. No, I'm only.
We have to. We get to. Because when you're in a position like you are, especially you, Corey, because of the blindness, and you have so many aspects to your Mito, you have to have somebody that's caring for you mostly around the clock. Is that right?
I have someone caring for me 24/7.
Okay. Wow.
And that is my mum.
Well, bless her heart. So.
And without her, I wouldn't be here. And that's God's honest truth. And she's my rock.
Amazing. Fantastic.
Through all the operations I've had and all the ups and downs of mitochondrial disease, my mum has always been there for me. And she will never, ever not be there for me.
Nice. Okay. So you do require 24/7 care.
I do, yeah. I do indeed.
Okay. Okay. And Michael, I know one thing, like I previously said, was that I was so impressed with the way Judy related to you and you guys worked together as a team. And I know it's not easy for the carers, right? I mean, sometimes they just want to throw their hands up and take 5.
Yeah,
Or
no,
say, I don't think I can do
it's
this
true
anymore.
because they see you at your best, and they also see you at your worst.
Right.
And your worst, that's when they're really needed, Vicky.
Yeah.
Is the worst, and that's what other people don't see, because that's the stuff that you want to hide.
Yeah.
And it's I can hear I'm not sure, is it your pup in the background?
Hey, it's Corey's dogs. It's Corey's dogs.
Sorry about that.
I can kind of make an analogy. It's kind of like kicking the dog, so to speak. When you're down, that's kind of the caretaker's role.
Oh, yeah.
And I hate to almost maybe kind of make an analogy like that, but your caretaker is the one that takes the brunt of everything.
Right.
They really do. From helping you with medications. You're having a down bad day. doctor's appointments, making
Yes.
those appointments. I mean, they really are the unsung heroes.
Right. Well, and I would think too, as you were talking, um, aside from all of the physical aspects of what they do, I think it would be, I think the mental and emotional part of caretaking, yes, seeing the person that you love suffering and wanting to help so much, but there's probably a having to put some boundaries up within themselves so that they're not doing too much for you or taking on too much responsibility, because then that's not healthy for either one of you, right?
It's a
And
balancing
it's
act.
a balancing act, and I'm sure that that's like, it's always going to be that balancing act, but I'm sure that there's so much growth that happens not only in the care but for you as well, to realize what those boundaries have to look like in order for that relationship to work properly, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, interesting. It takes very special people to be in the position that you guys are in and that your carers are in. I just gotta say, I'm just blown away here. But before we go today, I want to talk about Michael and Judy, his lovely wife, started a nonprofit called Hugs for Mito to educate people and inform people about mitochondrial disease, because I had never heard of it before I met Michael, and I'm assuming that a whole lot of people even know what it is if they've heard of mito or mitochondrial disease. So, Corey, I know you're also an ambassador for Hugs for Mito,
I
right?
am.
Spreading the word.
I am, and I couldn't be more than happy and delighted to be.
Yeah, he does a fantastic job for us. We're very proud to have him on board, and
Fantastic.
he's an incredible human being, as you can see,
I can
Vicky.
see that, absolutely. So, can you tell us a little bit about Hugs for Mito, what you do, and what Hugs
Well,
for Mito needs?
I wanna stress, and I know it's towards the end of our interview, that we're not all about just mitochondrial disease. I mean, yes, that's the core of what I have in Corey, but it's and we do things for all rare disease. And our doctor and our research isn't just, thank you for holding up our book as well, Vicki. I'll have mine rare. Her research, she researches other rare diseases as well. But what we started doing this past year as a pivot, and with COVID and whatnot, and we just helped our first recipient. We have a medical aid form online, which we really wish people would start using. Please use it. We're giving away like free money and no one's using it. I don't understand it. And you saw us all over social media just helping someone. I really, people, I don't understand. We don't understand. Okay. Go on there, take a chance. We're looking to help more people. But any cancer, anybody that needs legitimate help. But we just durable medical equipment and supplies, and we just supplied a bed to our first patient locally. Young lady that really, really needed it, and family was extremely pleased. We got them some other gifts as well. And it was just a fabulous feeling and wonderful to be able to do. And just trying to do good work, Vicki, and
Yes.
pave the way forward. Corey's, been helping us spread good cheer from the UK, and we really appreciate the work he's doing as well. So
Right. So I do have to put a plug in for this book that Michael wrote. It's called I'll Have Mine Rare, and it's about rare diseases. It's called a children's book, but it's for adults as well, okay? It talks about having a rare disease and what that looks like and helping people to understand on a level that's easy to understand. So I would, Michael, they can order this through Amazon, yeah?
I believe it's still on Amazon, and it's on our website as well. So you can get it through our website. We always have copies. So
Fantastic. And they have a few other items like clothes, sweatshirts,
Sweatshirts, sweatpants, pins, rubber bracelets. We're always trying to change it up a little bit. And
Fantastic.
we've got, blog section on there. You can check out what we're doing. We have a virtual run walk going on right now. We'd like to see people get involved. We're always looking for volunteers.
Great.
If you're looking to get involved, send us a message. So,
Yeah.
we'd like to grow, always looking to do more, always looking for ideas. So reach out to us.
Yeah, so if anybody has questions or needs maybe resources or wants to know more about rare diseases, get in touch with Hugs for Mito. Or if you'd like to donate and help them out so that they can provide more equipment or more whatever anybody needs to help them out.
We'd love to have you get involved with us. It takes your support and contributions for us to be able to do what we, want to be able to do. So, and we can't do it. We can't do it without you.
Right.
And I will just say, a big part of Hugs for Mito is always in the heart. We care so much for people.
Thank you. And thank you, Corey. That's very nice. And I just want to say also that, we do give 100% back. We do not take anything for ourselves.
Mm-hmm. Great. Well, you guys, oh my goodness. I'm just going to pull my Facebook stream over here and see if we have any questions. I am not seeing any at this time, but I'm sure that there's
going easy on us.
Yeah, they're going easy on you right now. They're all going, oh my gosh, I had no idea. Wiping their eyes with their tissues, but we're gonna post this.
They're probably all in a pile somewhere.
There you go. They're probably all in a pile somewhere. We're going to leave this post up. We're going to put it all over social media and get some more exposure for you guys. I'd love to have you both come back and we can delve into some things in a different way. Corey, let's network here and collaborate. I would love to do a crystal healing workshop with you. I got big plans for you, buddy.
That's awesome, Corey. Corey, you're gonna have your own show. Look at that.
It's the Corey Show. Yes, the wheels are turning, Corey. That's kind of what I do.
Proud of you, buddy. Nice job.
Yeah, really good. Thank you so much, both of you.
Thank you, Vicky. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
So inspired. So y'all just go have a wonderful afternoon. And again, thank you so much for joining me.
Corey, go do what you have to do medically. All right, buddy?
Yep. Thank you, Michael.
Take care of yourself. Love you.
Thank you, Vicky. Take care.
You too. Thanks so much. We'll see you guys soon, okay?
Thank you, Vicky.
Bye-bye.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.
I'll talk to you soon, bud.